Yeah, it is just come.
right?
Yeah.
So you can also do the pause and stop. It says record to this computer, so I don't know, maybe it will record to your computer. It may, I will just pause it, right? That way you can just mention, I'm saying, people don't want to get recorded. I think they can drop, but I don't think anybody will have a problem with it. They can turn off their video if they want,
Cool.
if they can listen. So Pradeep said at least he will join from Austin. So, okay. Okay, I'll let it run, and if there is anything, you just text me and or call me if it's urgent. Yeah.
So just in case you, if like if there's someone who has wants to admit and I'm not able to, can you mute your? Oh wait, one second.
Hi, Betsy. I'm just waiting for anyone else to join. So,
Hey, Chetas.
how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Are you just got off work?
I did. I just closed my laptop. I did work from home today. So,
Oh, that's cool. That's
yeah.
cool. Raghav texted me. He said that he wouldn't be joining because he's working right now. So he asked to record it, and then few other of my friends also said to record the demo just in case that they want to watch it also. So I just wait for a few other people if they're going to join.
Sure, sure.
Hey Raghav, can you hear me? Raghav, can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. I'm just waiting for if anyone else joins, I'll start.
Done, 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 done.
So, Betty, I think I'll just start it at 5:45 p.m. If it's only both of us, you can like it's gonna be interactive, so you can ask any questions when you do so.
So did Raghav drop off?
Sorry?
Is Raghav there or?
Yeah, he said he's gonna join back. He's outside.
Okay.
He said he's gonna join back, so I'm waiting
Yeah.
for him. Yeah.
Sure. If you want to have it, postpone it or do it another time, I'm fine too. You don't have
No,
to.
it's okay. I'll just do one now, and then like whenever I'm doing it with other people, I can do it individually with them also. So it'll
Sounds
be
good.
yeah. I'll start at 5:45.
Sure.
Hey Corey, and I'm guessing that's Sam too.
Yeah, we're here right now.
All right, all right. I'm gonna start at 5:45. I'm just waiting for like if anyone else joins, and then I'm gonna be starting it.
Sounds good, man.
Cool, cool. Okay, guys. So, you guys, I think it's just gonna be like a few people today. So, like we can be interactive, and you guys can unmute yourself, and like we can keep it going as it goes. So, basically, this I've been working for this company. I'm just gonna share my screen before that. So I've been working for this company for over a year, and my boss started this company in 2020, and the reason he started was he wanted to just see how like he worked at Intel. Just a brief introduction of him. He worked at Intel for like over 25 years, and he worked as in the initially in the supercomputer division, and then after that he worked in the CPU memory architecture team. So he was pretty technical too. So he wanted to make use of his time after retiring, and he also wanted to grow his money. So we I started working with him last year, and basically the reason that we use this website is to help people make like data-driven decisions by themselves. Like there's a bunch of tools now I'll start off. So I'll just get into it. So initially this was our website in the beginning. So we did do a bunch of work over the last few months, and now 1 second. So this is our new website. So we're planning to take this and trying to get feedback based on this website. So let me start off by showing you what the website is. So this is your stock. So you have two portions here, your stock analysis and then your portfolio analysis over here. So I'll start off with the stock analysis. So this is basically a filter for you to start off. Before I start, like, how many, like, do any of y'all invest currently, or, have you started investing?
Occasionally, but I don't really invest, but I am familiar with a lot of platforms in terms of investing because I used to do it.
Cool. So you generally do like ETFs, or would you like have your own portfolio of like individual stocks?
It's mainly individual, and I mean,
Okay.
I mainly used to do like day trading stuff, so yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is not day trading, but this is equity. And yeah, so how you can start off, like just by based on filters, so you essentially the four attributes or features that you look for when you invest in stocks, which is your return, obviously, and then you can look into dividends too, and then few other this is our own additional parameter, because the whole point of this is to beat the S&P 500, right? And with enough diversification and also managing risk. So you can also use options to manage the volatility of returns, but that's more of like an advanced thing, and we can talk about that. I'll talk about that at the end of this call. So when you start investing, 1 second, I think yeah, join. Okay, someone join again. So yeah, so this is the stock filter. So when you're investing, you're looking into like four major metrics, which is your return, your dividend, and then return over standard deviation, which gives you your risk adjusted return. But to start off, you can just see how much of a return like you would require, and then you can also like filter based on dividends. And then this is something that we just added because we want to beat the S&P 500 like year on year, right? So that's the whole point of this. And then you have your correlation to S&P 500. So this like helps you in diversification in case like the whole stock market goes down. If you've invested in stocks that are not fully or like not highly correlated with the S&P, your overall portfolio does well. So these are the filters right here. And over here you can, I'm just gonna minimize this. Over here you can you can have a default, so it just gives you a default criteria of like 20% of a return, and then you get 1% dividend annually, and then the number of years you can beat SPY is 4, and then return over standard deviation is 30, and then correlation is 0.8. So this is just a default, but you can also clear this, and what it does is over here it gives you all the stocks in descending order of return. So as you can see, like Nvidia, Vista, and Palantir have been doing phenomenal like over the past few years. So over the past 5 years, and you can, if you click over here, you can sort it by your return too. So that's something that we're also still working on. So this is one part of like the stock filter that you can just generally use to like get to know what you want. For example, if you want like a 20% of a return, or like let's say 35%, and then a dividend of like 0.2, and number of years it beat SPY for. And here you can see like a bunch of stocks. So these are high growth stocks that you can immediately just see. So, basically, if you go to like a bunch of these other brokers and stock trading platforms, there's a lot of information where you can get submerged into. So this basic essentially just condenses it to like these one, two, three, five different metrics. And these metrics are, to be honest, like all that you should be looking into. Like the rest of it is just a lot of noise when it comes to investing. So this is one of the features that we have, and this is just to start off from it. And once you like, if you just want to pick a few stocks, you can just like, based on some criteria, you can get a list of these stocks, right? So this is one of the tools. And then the other thing that we have, after you find your list of stocks, this is another new feature that we've built recently. So this gives you another sorted list, and I'll also show you a rank chart that helps you visualize everything. So before I go forward, so the yearly column allows you to see how much of a return per year. So it starts at the beginning of the year and ends at that year. So for example, in 2021, STX and AMD grew up to like 33% and 68%. And then similarly in 2025, WDC, which is a data storage company, STX is also a data storage company. These companies grew like exponentially, like 250%, 199%. And you can just see how they've done in the previous years too, like just to like understand what it is. So you also have a rank chart. So this gives you more of like a visual picture of like how it's been growing year on year. And then after that, you also have the cumulative forward. So what this does is it starts at if you started investing in 2021, you can see how well like stocks have like grown, like you can see whether like you can see how like VST has grown like from like 11 to 9 and 8 and then 2. So it's doing pretty well, and like HWM as well. And so these are ways. So this is the cumulative forward. So for example, you can also use the rank chart. So you can see like Nvidia did like great, and then it dropped in 2022 because of the crash, and then it's been doing consistently great in terms of like straight up cumulative from like 2020 to 2025. And then we also have cumulative backwards. So what this does is it essentially tells you if you entered in 2022, the start of 2022, your like Palantir grew by almost 1269%, which is insane. So like there are certain things like this that like you can see. For example, if you entered with WDC this year, you can see how well it did. It rose up to like 254% this year, and then STX and Micron. Also, this is the WDC is a data storage company. This is also data storage. Micron is again I think it's a semiconductor company, and NEM is a gold mining company. So here essentially you can once you move from the previous filter. So once you are like move from here, so you can start off over here by just entering like few metrics. All you need is like how much of a return you want, the dividend, and then you can also see risk adjusted return. So that also gives you like a ratio of risk with return. So these are pretty volatile stocks too. So like VST was pretty volatile. So you can also use this to like filter out your volatility. So if in case you want something that's not that volatile. So like 20 and then 15. So yeah, you can basically see a bunch once you get like a good picture of what you want from here, you can move on to this to again like further analyze how things are going. So like you can put in your own stocks here too. So for example, you can put NVIDIA. And does anyone else want to see any stocks that they're interested in? I can look into that right now. So, um, does anyone have any stock that they want to look into? Okay. So yeah, so basically this is what you can do when you start off from the our website, and then after that, we have one more feature. So this is the so we have a portfolio analysis. So in case you don't want to do all of that research of like, like finding out like how much of a return you want, how much of a risk you want, stuff like that. We have a few like automatic pre-filled recommendations that you could do. So for example, just conservative is basically you only hold cash, bonds, and then you put the S&P 500. And once you do that, you can click compare. And what okay, before I go ahead with the chart, let me just show you the different types of examples that we have. So we have conservative, moderate, then ETFs, and then we have stocks that yield high dividends and stocks that are high growth, and then we have just conservative, moderate, and aggressive. So we can start off with a stocks conservative portfolio. So it automatically pre-fills a few stock tickers that you can look into. So it's Apple, Microsoft, Costco, and then the S&P 500, right? So this is a standard portfolio with you can even use equal weights if you want to, and we can do ideally we use the pre-mediated weights that are here. So when you do stocks over here, you click stocks moderate, and now you click compare. So this is a box chart, all right? So I'm pretty sure most of y'all have always seen charts like this. Let me show you. So these are most of the charts that you generally see on like on a stock trading platform and a lot of other brokerage sites. And these can be like really confusing, like as an investor. And it kind of like you can't see the big picture when you do this. So like for example, you can see Avgo has gone up and down, but you don't really know how much of like how much of a standard deviation or how much variance is there in the stock. So that's it gets kind of confusing, right? So the main thing that like we've done is we've created the box chart. So what this does is, for example, just if you guys look at like Avgo, see how volatile it is, and then you can see like certain stocks aren't, it's hard, right? See, that's the whole point. It's hard to see which stocks are volatile and which stocks are not. So when you use the box chart basically gives you so the green line gives you the average return, and then the box tells you how volatile the stocks are, so how much up and down the stocks have been going. And like if you remember seeing the chart from before, you can see how Avgo has like been very volatile. So from like just looking at this chart, like, hey, this is a risky like investment, but it yields high returns over here, like almost like 70% and overall on average. So this is one way that you can really simplify your whole like stock picking process, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes up to return and risk. And this box chart just does that very seamlessly compared to like, so if you, let's take, for example, now PWR versus Avgo. So see, PWR hasn't been that volatile, whereas Avgo has been very volatile over the last few years. So what when you do the line chart, you can see that you can see Avgo is really volatile, and then PWR, if we can see it, it's the brown. you can see that it's kind of not that volatile. So essentially, it condenses this scary looking chart into just a box chart. And when you do that, you can essentially see all of this. Just one second, I have to charge. Second, guys. Okay, so yeah, so this box chart really helps in my opinion because it just condenses the risk and return into just one chart. So this is one of the features that you can do, and it compares the stocks that are given in the portfolio. You can also enter like individual stocks that you want to do. So the next thing that we can do is we can backtest our portfolio. So if we had our portfolio, if we'd invested in this portfolio over the last 5 years, this is all based on data. It's completely data driven. You can see that the S&P 500 grew by like 12%, but our portfolio grew like exponentially. It grew up to like 35% compared to like just 12%. So that's and you just invest in like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, just 10 stocks, and you get like pretty good diversification too. And like you're beating the S&P 500 like year on year. So that's the other tool that we have. And then lastly, like we also have a project does. So what this does is it uses a Monte Carlo simulation to see how your portfolio could do over the next few years. But the caveats are like these are it's completely based on historic performance. So like it can't guarantee the future, but it can give you like statistically where it would be going over the next few years. So that's another feature that we have. And then the back test tells you how much it's done compared to just the S&P 500. So you can essentially see like the difference right here, like visually. The return is like 35% compared to like 12%. So and then I've also like built like a similar stock recommender system. For example, if someone's already invested in Nvidia and they want to find like stocks similar to that, but they don't have the time to go and research a bunch of information like to find similar stocks, this button basically does that by combining historical data as well as options, because options give you an idea of the future, right? Like a lot of people bet money on the future, so we've included few parameters of the fee of options, as well as like the historical parameters that I already showed you, like return, risk, dividends, market cap. And when you click this, it gives you a list of stocks that are exactly similar to Nvidia. So you don't have to go and research and like again look into it, because these stocks exactly perform on a very similar level compared to Nvidia. And you can Avgo, as we just saw, is pretty high return and was very volatile as well. So it's like it's pretty simple to just click this button and then you can get your similar stock right there. And we additionally, you can also select the sector that you want. So it can for the stocks that are being recommended, similarly, it can be any sector, or it can even be the same sector, or you can do different sectors. So that's another thing that we have. And lastly, we also have an optimize button. So what this does is it reduces correlation between our portfolio. So correlation basically, like I told you in the beginning, if your portfolio is highly correlated to like the S&P 500, so when the stock market crashes, your portfolio is also going to do bad. But in case that if your portfolio is diversified, then you can have like a good you're good even if the market crashes. At least some of the stocks are still out performing well because they're not correlated to the rest of the stocks. So that's essentially what the optimize button does. It just gives you a new portfolio that is less correlated based on the similar stocks that were recommended for each stock. So that's another thing, another feature that we have. And yeah, these are it's pretty much very simple. The whole objective of this is to like keep it very simple and like condense a lot of information into like just the information that we need rather than being like overwhelmed by a lot of different like information which comes in. That's why a lot of people are intimidated by picking their own portfolios is because there's risk involved. But it's very easy to see how much risk is involved by just using like charts like this, like the box chart. You can see immediately like the return and the risk. So, it's easier to make decisions once you like just use a few tools this also helps you filter out stocks if you know what you want. And in case you don't know what you want, you can always like use the example portfolios and then use the compare charts to see how volatile they are and how much of a return. And then also you can see how they would have done if you'd invested in these over the last 5 years. So yeah, this is like the basics of it. So just wanted to share that with you. And any questions or anything like that?
Hey, first of all, awesome. I think consolidation of everything that's happening out there and good information. Yeah, as for me, I
Okay.
think I am mostly, I always think I should do some of these investments in stocks, but as of now, I'm just more into just 401k. I know that's not like stocks or anything, but and my company does do a good match, so I have to figure out outside of that what kind of stocks or investments I have to do, which that's not something I have been doing, but I know that's a good area for growth. So just exploring, maybe sometime in the future, I will try and get into more of it. My kids keep saying they want to try some kind of an investment early
Mhm.
on in life. So maybe one day we'll really mature and be good. So,
Yeah, and like essentially the two main things when it comes down to like stocks, right? It's just the risk that's involved and also the return. So like this website gives you like a very clear picture of the risk and the return based on the charts, and you can also see what you want. So yeah, you can definitely use it, and you can like let me know any questions that you have, or if you want me to like again show it to you before like you start again, I can definitely like help you out with that too, as well as your kids if they also want to like play around with the website. That would be great. I could show them the website too.
sure, can you send me a link to this website?
For sure. Yeah, I'll be sending you the link via message right after this. So. Or I can just send to you. Yeah, I'll send it to you via message. So once we've like completely
Mhm.
narrowed down we publish it fully. I'll send you the link to the website by tonight or tomorrow.
Thanks, Chetas.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming, Betsy. So, any other questions you have, or is that it?
No, I'm good for now. Like I said, I have to do some homework and see just I've been putting that off for quite some time, but just watch some YouTube videos or just a good place to start off, at least even for the kids and even for me. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, there'll be more integrations that we're gonna be doing. Hopefully we might also look into like just integrating like an LLM directly into the website so that you can prompt it and then you can essentially like do it gives you more context. Like it gives you like if you're a complete beginner and you have no idea, that's also something that you could look into. So yeah, I'll definitely keep in touch, and I'll share you the link to the website, and any updates that we make, I'll definitely let you know about that too.
All right. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah,
And it's good to see what you're doing. And this is awesome work.
thank you so much for joining, Betsy. I really appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Hey, you too. Have a good
Bye
night.
bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.